After preparing an entire Thanksgiving dinner for 14 people, my mother-in-law scoffed from across the table. We should just get takeout next year. At least then we'd have something edible. Todd, my husband, let out this short, careless laugh. I glanced around the room, hoping someone might say something. No one did. Their silence screamed louder than her insult. So, I stood up slowly, untied my apron with shaking hands, and said, clear and steady, "Next time, don't expect a free meal, because I'm done." They chuckled, thinking I was being dramatic. That is, until every holiday plan with my name on it vanished. Let me take you back to that Thanksgiving evening. Her words, my mother-in-law's voice, still ring in my ears like a bell I can't unhear. "Next time, let's skip these ugly dishes and just order something that's actually edible." I'd just pulled the second roasted turkey out of the oven. My feet were throbbing, my back ached. I hadn't sat down in over 10 hours. I was drenched in sweat, my shirt sticking to me. The only thing I'd eaten all day was half a stale cornbread corner I snuck while cleaning the kitchen. And then she said my food are ugly. And Todd, my husband, just let out that damned snort. Not a laugh, not a defense. Just a dismissive sound like all my effort was some kind of joke. But it wasn't about the food. It was about the utter lack of respect. How they walked in like royalty, expected to be served, and didn't even have the decency to fake gratitude. So yes, I stood up. I peeled off my apron. Next time, don't expect a free meal either, because I'm done. I turned around and left the room without another word. And what did they do? They laughed like it was all just a punchline. Todd stayed seated. Not even a whisper of my name left his mouth. I poured myself a glass of Cabernet, leaned on the cold counter, and tried not to cry. No one followed. No one lifted a finger to clean up the mess. They just kept on eating like I was never there. I heard my mother-in-law crack a joke I couldn't quite catch, probably about me. Then someone flipped on the football game like it was any regular night. At that moment, I became completely invisible. That was when something inside me snapped. I didn't utter another word that night. When the final taillights disappeared, I didn't say a thing to Todd. I crawled into bed, turned my back to him, and shut the world out. He didn't even attempt an apology. The next morning, I left the kitchen exactly as they'd abandoned it. Todd walked in, glanced at the disaster zone, and casually asked, "Leftovers for lunch?" I stared at him. "I'm not touching a damn thing. Eat whatever you want." Then I threw on some clothes and walked out. I parked by the lake and let myself breathe for the first time in weeks. For the first time in forever, I let myself feel the weight of how they'd treated me. Not just that night, but for years. Every eye roll from his mom, every time she criticized something I did, every time Todd stayed silent, I realized I was done playing the good girl. They never understood. I didn't just cook, I orchestrated the holidays. Every gathering from the last 5 years bore my signature. I booked the cabins, arranged rental cars, planned menus, bought the matching PJs, ran Secret Santa, you name it. I made the magic happen. All they ever did was show up. So I opened my laptop and started canceling everything. First went the Asheville cabin for Christmas. Canceled. Next, the Anna Maria Island beach house for New Year's. Gone. Then, the Easter brunch at that overpriced Sarasota restaurant. Scratched. I called and told them to give our table to someone who mattered. Each click of cancel felt like knocking over another domino. The whole system collapsed. They didn't realize right away what I'd done. About a week later, my mother-in-law texted me. "Hey, can Yuri send the address for the cabin? Trying to plan our drive." I replied, "No cabin." I canceled it. "I'm done planning anything. You're welcome to handle it yourselves." She didn't respond, of course. A few hours later, Todd walked in from work and asked, "Why is Mom freaking out about Christmas?" I told him, because she assumed I'd still carry the weight after how she disrespected me. He collapsed onto the couch, rubbing his face like I was the problem here. You could have at least given everyone a heads up, he muttered. I just stared at him. You mean like the way you defended me when your mom humiliated me at the table? Silence. Then came December 24th. Usually by then, the tree would be trimmed, the guest room ready, and we'd be baking cookies with his nieces and nephews. But this year, nothing. No lights, no cookies, no log cake. Just the low hum of the dishwasher and the even louder silence between us. He asked, half-heartedly, So, are we still doing gifts with my family? I shrugged. Didn't pull any names. They'll figure it out, or not. Not my concern. Christmas came and went like a skipped song on a playlist. His mom tried to host something, but nobody helped, and the food was a disaster. Frozen lasagna, a limp salad, super taught cookies, overcooked turkey, all served on a flimsy plastic tray. I saw it all unfold on Facebook. No stockings, no matching pajamas, just blurry shots of people who looked bored and awkward. My mother-in-law posted one photo of the grandkids eating pizza. The caption read, "Missing the usual holiday magic." Damn, right? It wasn't after that mess of a holiday, I thought. Just maybe, they'd finally get it. Maybe someone would pick up the phone. Maybe Todd would sit me down and, for once, ask how I was doing. He didn't, not even once. He acted like the canceled plans were some random glitch, like I was just being dramatic. One night in mid-January, while brushing our teeth, I asked him flat out, "Do you even care that your family humiliated me? That you laughed while they mocked me?" He didn't even look at me, just spit, wiped his mouth and said, "It was a joke. You're blowing this out of proportion." That was the moment I realized I was completely alone in this marriage. And that stung deeper than anything his mom ever said. I stopped showing up. His niece had a birthday in February. I skipped it. Todd went, came home with a soggy piece of cake on a paper plate and said, "They asked about you." I told them, "You're still mad." I looked him straight in the eye and said, "I'm not mad. I'm done." And I meant every word. In March, his oldest niece, Sophie, messaged me, "Auntie, are you mad at us? I miss how things used to be." That cracked something in me. She was 15. Last year, she helped me prep sweet potatoes, always said thank you, always gave me hugs. I didn't hold any of this against her. So I replied, "I'm not mad at you, sweetheart, just stepping back from grown-ups who didn't treat me right." She didn't reply. But 2 hours later, my mother-in-law sent a single text, "Don't bring my granddaughter into this." I took a long breath and replied, "Then maybe teach her to treat people better than you ever did." She never replied, but of course, she posted a vague status about some people ruining traditions over petty drama. Of course she did. Passive-aggressive was her native language. Then April arrived. Our 10-year anniversary was just around the corner. We usually touted it with a weekend getaway to Savannah or a dressed-up dinner in the city. This year, I stayed quiet. I waited, curious but not hopeful. Todd walked in the night before with a grocery store bouquet and a cheap bottle of red. "Happy anniversary," he muttered, handing them to me like I was a colleague at a retirement party. No card, no dinner plans. Nothing but last-minute guilt. I looked down at the flowers and asked, "So this is what a decade of marriage means to you?" He shrugged. "It's been a rough few months. I figured you wouldn't want to celebrate." "You never asked," I shot back. He rolled his eyes. "You've been ice cold since Thanksgiving, like I slept with someone or something." And just like that, there it was. I looked at him and said, "No, you didn't cheat. You just made it very clear that I don't matter to you. And somehow, that hurts more." He scoffed and slammed the wine down on the table. "Jesus, Opie, it was one damn joke. You've turned this into World War III. "No," I told him. "The war started the moment I realized no one, not even you, would fight for me." A week later, his mother called me out of the blue. Sweetheart, don't you think this has gone on long enough? People say things they don't mean during the holidays. She meant it, I said flatly. She's always meant it. That was just the first time any of you had the nerve to say it out loud. She let out this heavy sigh. We're planning a summer barbecue. Why don't you and Todd come? Start fresh. I paused. Only if your daughter apologizes. Long silence. Then, let's not let pride get in the way of family. I hung up without a word. Funny how people treat you when they think you'll always stick around. That you'll eat the insults, carry the weight, laugh at the cruelty, and pose for the photos like nothing's wrong. But the moment you stop, really stop, they start to unravel. By May, the family group chat was basically a ghost town. It used to buzz nonstop. Birthday cakes, potluck assignments, memes about crazy holiday chaos. That thread had my fingerprints all over it. I was the one who created it years ago. I even named it the last name Circus. Everyone thought it was hilarious. Now it was just my mother-in-law dropping in half-hearted messages like, anyone up for hosting July 4th? Crickets. 2 days later, another message. We can do it here, but I'm not cooking everything again. Still nothing. Finally, Todd's cousin Jason replied, honestly, not feeling it this year. Doesn't feel the same. I screenshotted it and saved it like a trophy. One Saturday in early June, I ran into his mother at the grocery store. No warning. I turned into the baking aisle and boom, there she was, clutching a bag of sugar. She looked up, froze for a second, then pasted on a fake smile like we were old friends. Hey, stranger, she chirped. I gave a polite nod and tried to roll past. You know, she said, parking her cart in my path. The family really misses you. Especially me. It just doesn't feel the same without your touch. I stayed silent. I wasn't biting. Then she tilted her head and said, but I guess we all just got tired of walking on eggshells. I nearly laughed. I looked her square in the eye and said, you weren't walking on eggshells. You were hurling them. She blinked. And for a moment, I saw it. She was shaken. Just a bit. Whatever, she muttered, pulling her cart away. I let her go, but my hands trembled. Not with fear, but with rage. That she could gaslight me in the baking aisle like she wasn't the one who lit the match in the first place. That night, I told Todd. Not because I thought he'd care, but because I wanted to watch him try to pretend. He let out a long, dramatic sigh. God, are you still hung up on that? That was the whole response. No defense, no surprise, no concern. I looked him straight in the eye. Do you even understand what I gave up for your family? Every gathering, every detail, every ounce of joy, we had that because I created it. And when they tore me down, you laughed. You didn't defend me. You didn't even come after me. He looked annoyed, like I was interrupting his evening with my pain. So what now? He snapped. You gonna keep guilt-tripping the whole family forever? No, I replied. I'm going to hold it over my own damn shoulders and decide when I want to stop carrying this weight. July rolled around and my birthday landed on a Saturday. I wasn't expecting fireworks, but maybe a small gesture, something intimate, something that showed he still cared. Instead, I woke up to a text from his mom. Happy birthday. Hope Todd makes today special. I actually laughed out loud because Todd, he forgot. Not a single thing was planned. He mumbled something about taking me out later. I asked if he made a reservation. He shrugged. You're picky, he said. Figured you'd want to choose. That night, I got dressed up and took myself out. Drove to the restaurant I used to love, before they all ruined food for me. I sat on the patio, ordered a glass of red, 2 full courses, and watched strangers laugh like nothing was broken in their world. The waiter smiled and asked, Are we celebrating anything tonight? I smiled back. Yeah, the day I stopped doing things for people who never noticed. I went home, packed a suitcase, and moved into the guest room without a word. The next morning, I told Todd I was leaving for a while, going to stay with my sister. He didn't even look up from his phone. If that's what you want. The next day, I moved in with my sister. The room was tiny, but it had something my house had lacked for years. Peace. No eggshells. No silence that cuts deeper than words. Just me, a small suitcase, and my decision. At first, Todd thought I was bluffing. Thought I needed a reset. Days turned into weeks. I didn't call, didn't text, didn't ask how he was holding up. He finally sent one message. Okay, you made your point. Can we talk now? I didn't respond. Instead, I made a list of what was mine, what I had created, and what I'd never again accept. By mid-August, I filed for divorce. Todd was stunned. He called nonstop, leaving voicemails. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Can we at least try therapy or something? Too late. I'd been in therapy for 6 months. He never once noticed. After I filed, the real cracks showed. And not at me, at each other. One night, his mother called me crying. She actually said she missed me. That the family wasn't the same. I stayed calm, colder than she expected. When your daughter tore me down in front of everyone and you stayed silent, that's when things shifted. When Todd laughed, that's when it ended. She begged me to reconsider. I said, you should have taught your kids that kindness isn't optional. This is what happens when you don't. She never called again. What came next, I hadn't planned, but God, it was satisfying. In October, my mother-in-law tried to salvage Halloween with a last-minute party. She posted pics of the sad spread. Bulk candy, dollar store decorations, plastic, everything. 3 people showed up. Total. Just Dale, one cousin, and a random friend of her kid showed up. No one stayed to clean. No one brought a dish. Not even napkins. The next day, she posted on Facebook. Reminder. Appreciate the ones who make holidays special. You'll miss them when they're gone. I didn't say a word, but my sister and I howled with laughter. The divorce dragged on longer than it should have. Todd stalled, said he was rethinking everything, delayed signing like it would undo the damage. Then, in December, he showed up at my sister's door with a box in his arms. Inside, old cards, photos, little scraps from the life we built. You can't just erase us, he said. We had good years. I nodded. We did. But I didn't erase anything. You did that for both of us. That one snort at the dinner table, that was the moment I saw the truth. He looked crushed. But I didn't feel pity. I felt free. I told him I'd see him in court. Then Thanksgiving came again. This time I stayed put. I made myself a plate, just for me, no audience. Stuffing, cranberry orange sauce, a single turkey breast. I ate alone, but it was peaceful. No snide retards, no judgmental glances, just silence and self-respect. I took a bite, and I smiled. It was damn good. And for the first time, I didn't need anyone else to agree. Todd lost more than a marriage. After the papers were signed, even his family turned on him. His mom kept her distance, quiet, cold. The family group chat, dead. No more potlucks, no matching pajamas, no traditions left standing. They stopped laughing altogether. And me? I rebuilt, slowly but stronger. I reached out to old friends, rekindled parts of myself I'd lost. Got a part-time job at a local bakery, smelled like cinnamon and new beginnings. I even started dating again. Nothing serious, but enough to feel visible again. Was I perfect? Not even close. I should have spoken up years ago. Should have drawn the line sooner. I waited far too long. I let people step all over me because I thought that's what good wives and good daughters-in-law were supposed to do. But I learned. And next time I set a table, it'll be for people who bring more than empty plates. They'll bring kindness too.